Plentywaka, a bus booking platform which provides interstate travel via its daily Waka offering and interstate travel, since going live in September 2019, says that it has acquired over 80,000 users while completing up to 500,000 rides since they were featured here on Business Morning, and that was in March. But Plentywaka has really been busy. So we now have the Chief Executive Officer, Onyeka Kuma, joining us to update us on what Plentywaka has been doing. Good to have you, Mr. Kuma. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so since our last conversation here in March, how has business been?
It's been fantastic. I think from March, we were able to get into the Textiles Accelerator program. And that was something that allowed us to remodel our business a lot more effectively. We've been able to grow our numbers. Recently, we just said how we've gotten to a point where over 480,000 passengers have commuted using the Plentywaka app within the last 2 years. Between March and now, we've been able to remodel our business to have different kinds of Waka, in the sense of moving people. And for the Waka, you have daily Waka, where people can now move from bus stops to bus stops using our app in a predictable and comfortable manner. To that end, we've concentrated heavily in Lagos. And then we also have Travel Waka. And with Travel Waka, it has allowed us to not just get people from one city to the other, but we're now aggregating several bus operators on our platform. So you have the likes of Geo, Libra, recently Apex, ABC, Greener Line, and a couple of others that have now signed up on the Plentywaka platform to commute people using the mobile app to 24 cities across Nigeria. So it's really an exciting moment for us as we launched those two sets of services on Plentywaka. But more exciting has been the fact that we've been able to attract some very interesting investors into our business. Our headquarters now is in Toronto at the moment, and we've been able to attract some Canadian investors, US investors, Chinese investors, and Nigerian investors in the business in order to fuel the next chapter of our growth. And we're very lucky and we're fortunate that we're in a time and season where we can do this in our business. All 45 of us in the team are truly pumped up about what we can do with Plentywaka going forward.
Yeah, well, you actually sound pumped up too. We're happy for you too. Well, tell us more about the daily Waka, especially here in Lagos. And one of the things that Lagos is known for is the hustle and bustle, the traffic. How do you incorporate that into your app, and what considerations do you give to that?
Okay, so on daily Waka, what we originally set out to do was people shouldn't have to move from one bus stop to the other in an unpredictable way. People shouldn't have to do it in a very uncomfortable. I should be able to bring out my laptop in the bus and work on my laptop and feel safe to do that. And so what we did with Daily Waka was we allowed our buses, so we got in brand new buses initially when we started, and we're able to commute people from bus stops to bus stops. It took us about 3 months to 6 months to get to 100,000 people moving with that service. In the last couple of months, we've gotten to close to 400,000 people that have done that. And what we're now doing is unlocking the opportunity for individuals like you and I to now onboard our vehicles. So if I have a minivan, for instance, or I have a bus, not everybody has a bus that you use for personal purpose, but you may have a minivan, a Toyota Sienna, for instance. You're able to bring that vehicle on our platform and make a decent return from allowing people to move from bus stop to bus stop while earning as much as 250,000 naira on Plentywaka. You also have individuals that are now opening up their vehicles. So if I go to work in the morning and I drive with empty seats in my vehicle, I can now turn those seats open for people to now join me on that trip, and I'm making some money while still maintaining my normal routes. To that end, we've been able to increase our fleet of vehicles. To that end, we've been able to get our customers excited about the locations we operate in. We're getting huge demand from people to say, hey, can you bring Plentywaka to this part of Lagos? Can you bring Plentywaka to that part of Lagos? Even corporates are now approaching us and saying, we don't want to have buses on our platform. We don't want to have buses in our organization. What we want to do is work with Plentywaka to provide a staff bus solution. And to that end, we created that corporate Waka service where people can now have their buses moving people across the city of Lagos and without necessarily owning those buses. And so that's how much we've done with Daily Waka. And we see that growth growing steadily. And we see a lot of people joining. We see a lot of people bringing their vehicles. I'm quite excited about where we find ourselves today.
Nice. I guess I need to start making money with my empty seats.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
anyway, Starbucks commenced operations in Ghana a month after Plentywaka's launch. What's your relationship with them?
In November 2019, Starbucks launched, and what they did was, within that period, all of us had to go through the challenge of dealing with the pandemic, where we had to shut down for pretty much about 5 months of our businesses. Now, the Isidore, who was the CEO of Starbucks, was keeping tabs with me as we were building Plentywaka in Nigeria. He was building Starbucks, and we spoke for about 4 times within 2 years of him running Starbucks. And then we had an opportunity where in April, around May of this year, May of 2021, Isidore approached me and said, "Hey, congratulations on getting into Techstars Toronto. Do you have plans for Ghana?" I said, "Yes, I do." I mean, we had plans for Ghana to go into Ghana in Q4 of 2021. And so we're looking at the opportunity of how we could replicate our model in that country. And we're also going through a funding round. And so I told Isidore that we were excited about Ghana, and if he had the opportunity to partner with us, let's go ahead. So that was how the conversation started. And over time, what we have successfully done is 2 main things. One, we've been able to raise our seed funding from a couple of investors. We've raised about $1.2 million in funding in our business in order to scale our operations. And we've used part of that funding to go ahead and acquire Starbucks in Ghana. Now, what you have with Starbucks is Starbucks becomes for us Plentywaka Ghana. And Isidore and his team have joined in Plentywaka Ghana to launch Plentywaka Ghana's operations from September 16th. They've already moved 100,000 Ghanaians within the 2 years period that he's been operating Starbucks. All those 100,000 people will join, continue to get the service they've been getting, but even better with the Plentywaka brand, with our technology, with our customer service, with our marketing approach. And so they will continue to ride on the platform. There are a couple of corporates that use Starbucks already in the country, and those corporates will continue to use the service. And so what we're excited about is Isidore and his team, formerly in Starbucks, will now launch for us Plentywaka Ghana on the 16th of September this year, when we become 2 years generally across the group, to get Ghanaians to move in a more comfortable, predictable, and reliable manner across the city of Accra. And so we're quite excited about that, and it's where we've channeled some of our energy in the last couple of months while seeing how we continue to evolve in Nigeria and scale our operations. What that does for us eventually is, in the next 2 years, we want to replicate that model in 6 other African markets. We'll be going to 6 other African markets across West Africa and East Africa to scale our operations into those markets and get more people moving better, moving in a more comfortable way, moving in a predictable way right here in Africa. That's what we're doing with Starbucks now. That's what we've done with them. And that's what we'll continue to do as we continue to expand our operations, building the largest shared mobility platform on the continent.
And you also have raised a $1.2 million seed round to scale up operations. Give us the details of that.
Okay, so when we got into Techstars Toronto, one of the things we noticed was that to build a very successful mobility startup, one needed to focus on how you fuel growth, how you're able to attract the right kind of talent, how you're able to build the right kind of technology. To do all of that comes at a cost. And so what we were able to do was we were able to demo to about 200 investors. I had to pitch to over 60 of them individually. And then we're able to convince a couple of them to join us. So we had the exchange in Canada. It's a fund, $1 billion fund that will soon launch out of Canada. And Todd Finch, who is regarded as the father of the internet in Canada, led that round into Plentywaka. We had a couple of other investors like Techstars. Techstars did a follow-on investment from their previous investment in Plentywaka, did a follow-on investment in this seed round. We had SOSV, one of the most active VCs in the world, participate in the round. We had Shock Ventures, and then even locally in Nigeria, we had 2 major VCs, Argentile Capital Partners and ODBA, led by the very enigmatic Bite Odinei. And what we've gotten from them, along with a couple of angel investors, and we had angel investors in Nigeria, angel investors in the US, and angel investors in Canada. They've given us some fuel to continue to push on our vision. The goal was to get into Ghana, and that we've already achieved, launching by Q4 this year, like I mentioned. The goal was to grow the number of users on our apps. The goal was to engage more customers and give them better services on our platform and recruit brilliant people on the team, get excellent people on the team across marketing, across technology, across operations to continue to improve our service. What we intend doing is going back again into the market within the next 12 months to raise additional capital as we fuel our growth across the continent. Because with mobility, you've got to pay for technology, you've got to pay for the right kind of people, and we don't want to be stuck at any point without having the necessary capital to scale that particular vision that we have for ourselves.
Are you thinking of going public anytime soon?
I mean, it's a goal for every entrepreneur to get to a point where you can go public. I mean, so there are several forms of exit. We either consider going public, or we could either consider having a brilliant platform that has very strategic visions for transportation for Africans, look at maybe acquiring the business, or we just continue to grow to a point where we become profitable. And to those three ends, we've seen a lot of opportunities there. We already have one strategic partner that has invested in this particular round, but we can't disclose names yet. And that strategic partner is potentially looking at the African market, the narrative of commuting Africans, not just in Nigeria, within cities and between cities. And to that end, we see for ourselves the opportunity where ideally we get a very good, decent return for the investors that have invested in Plentywaka, believed in us up to this date. So whether we go public or whether we sell to a major, another bigger business that has the vision for transportation in Africa, and we're considering all options. But for now, our head is just there on the ground, and all we're looking at is growing our business. All we're looking at is getting more footprint. All we're looking at is creating the impact. We're also looking at creating heroes. We call our drivers heroes. And we call them heroes because they are saving people from the hassles of commuting in manners that are not conducive for them. They're also saving the environment from the emission of CO2. And where I have a vehicle, and rather than going with my vehicle and you going with your vehicle, you drop your own vehicle and you can hop on my own vehicle and reduce how much emission we have in the environment. That is why we call them heroes. Eventually, they become superheroes if they put in excellent customer service into what they are doing in Plentywaka. So to this end, this is where we are focused on how we continue to scale our operations, have more impact, get more heroes, continue to improve our service across the region.
Yeah, we're just happy that, I mean, making heroes also means reducing unemployment in the country. That is enough good news for us. So when are you looking to start your Series A?
With a couple of investors already that have invested in this round that are potentially saying they want to do a follow-on. They're already seeing the impact of our work. They're already seeing how exciting what we're doing is going on. So they're excited about participating in our future round. We're looking at next year, early next year, we go back into the market to try to raise our Series A fund, whether it's Series A or pre-Series A, whatever it is, we want to raise additional capital by next year. So our goals tie around H1 next year. We'll go back into the market to do this. But in order to successfully do that, you've got to hit your KPIs. And that's why we're focused now not on the Series A. We're focused now on hitting our KPIs that we've promised that we will hit for our investors. We're already knocking some of them out. We want to see if we can push the timeline for our KPIs as against 12 months, push it to 9 months. For those in 9 months, we push it down to 6 months, hit those KPIs, and eventually go back to the market. It becomes easier talking with investors and in order to provide additional capital to scale what we've built in Plentywaka.
All right, before we let you go, what's the bigger picture for Plentywaka?
The bigger picture is this. We've successfully built a business that people said was going to be very challenging. So people said, in Plentywaka, how are you going to deal with the road operators? How are you going to be with those that regulate transportation? This was a journey that people said we will not succeed at. Partners said we will not succeed at. Investors outside said we will not succeed at. What we've been able to do is to crack that, is to show that, yes, we can put our hands to work and get some success out of it, and gotten some investors to believe in us. Now, taking it off from there, we've gotten the right set of people on the team, our technology team, our marketing team, our operations team. We want to continue to build on that and evolve on that. Moving on from that bit, we've been able to get the right kind of investors that believe in the vision to invest in our business, to allow us to go out and achieve the KPIs that we've set for ourselves. The next step for us is, one, we want to make sure that in all 24 cities in Nigeria, where the different bus operators we're working with have presence, people are able to use Plentywaka from Abuja and travel to Onitsha, and use Plentywaka from Onitsha and travel to Lagos, you're able to book on the mobile app, and instead of paying 5,000 naira for a ticket, you can pay as low as 4,000 naira or even 3,500 naira for a ticket to travel by bus within those cities. When we create that behavior in Nigeria, that excites us. Taking that forward, we scale this into Ghana like we've done, and we push on from there, and then we get into those 6 other African markets. That is in the immediate, the plan for Plentywaka.
All right, big plans, and we do wish you luck in your business. Thank you so much, Onyeka Kuma, CEO Plentywaka. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.